TikTok, how you doing? All right, Facebook, how you doing? All right.
We're not up on the screen.
All right.
Slacking.
All right.
Slackers. Straight slackers.
I concur.
All right, what do we got going on, man? What do we got?
All right, TikTokers, you guys out there? You TikTokers out there? All right, you guys know the routine. Loan questions, real estate questions, market questions. What's the fastest car on the planet questions?
What is fast car?
Well, actually, Tesla's going to be putting out their new Roadster that goes 0 to 60 in 1 second.
1 second?
Yeah.
Dude.
It's insane.
CP here. CP. What's the fizz? Hello, says Andre. Hello. We're about to talk about rates, the market, whether or not interest rates are going up, what's going to happen, when things are going to go down, because they're going to go down. And we're just waiting for a few people to log in. We are on Facebook. We got a little bit of trouble on Instagram again. Hate to say it, but every time we say something a little weird, we get like slapped. So we've been slapped on a lot of the platforms, and I don't even know why. We're just talking about loans and stuff. But every once in a while, the algorithm thinks we're being, I don't know, mean to people, I guess. Thugs, straight thugs. What are the rates?
Thugs. Man, the rates are
pulling the rates today, pulling the rates. It really moved that much. So here's something you should know. You'll hear that rates go up and rates go down. And they do. But there's never an exact rate. It's not, rarely does it nail it perfectly. Usually it costs you $200 to get this rate, or you get back $200 to get this rate. So when the rates go up and down, it doesn't usually move the needle enough so that it bumps 1/8 of a point, because that's when it starts moving. Like 6, 6 and an 8, 6.25, 6.375, 6.5. It's 1/8 of a point. They go by eighths. So when the rates go up just a little bit, it just means it costs more money to get in. Or if they go down, you get a little bit more money back to you. A shared credit is what they call it. Cool. Let's see what we got, man. What do we got? We got questions coming from everywhere.
Questions. All right, everybody. What's the fizz? Andre Shop. Hello. Hernan 76. 600 credit score. $90,000 income. No debt except car note. Can I buy a duplex?
What do you think?
Yeah. I think you're in range.
Too. I think yeah too, man.
I think you're in range. I do think that you're going to have to look for a deal. I hope you can find something for a reasonable price, because duplexes, once you start going 2, 3, 4 unit, the prices start jumping, depending on the area that you're in, of course. I'm in California, so a duplex is probably going to cost us $1 million. But if you got it, let's do it. With the FIDs, how much is too much for a down payment?
Well, I don't know if there's ever too much for a down payment. It's a matter of, can you afford the down payment? Because the truth is, if you bought a house entirely cash, so if you, let's say you bought one today at $500,000, okay, $500,000, and you were paying the worst case scenario rate 8%. Let's say you're paying 8% and a $500,000 house, and you paid it all the way through to 30 years. You paid it all the way through to 30 years. That $500,000 house, by the time you're done at 30 years, you'll have paid about $1.7 million. $1.7 million. Which means you'll have paid about $1.2 million to the bank in order to lend you $500,000. So, if you bought it cash money, over the next 30 years, you would have saved $1.2 million in costs. That's what it would have saved you, somewhere in that neighborhood. There's a little bit more math involved, but somewhere in that neighborhood. So the reason people borrow money is because they can't afford it. Now, occasionally we get someone who says, hey, listen, I only want a $1,000 mortgage payment, and I have a lot of cash.
Wow.
So they say, hey, listen, what do I need to do to get a $1,000 mortgage payment? I'll say, you need to put $300,000 down. They'll say, okay, cool. They write the check. So if they wanted a $1,000 mortgage payment, because they're on a fixed income, and let's say it's Social Security, and they only make X, and 1,000's comfortable for them, but they've got a 401k and they got a lot of money. Well, is $300,000 too much of a down payment? Not for their situation. For their situation, it probably is best in that situation. So everybody's unique. How much is too much? I don't know if there's too much. It's a matter of what's appropriate for you. Now, most people say, what can I get away with? Can I do 0? And the answer to that is, yes, you can do 0, but it's not free. There's a catch. There's always a catch. There's always a catch.
What's the
Shocker.
catch?
There's always a catch.
What's the catch?
So sometimes, like, if you want a Platinum's a good program. It's actually a gift program, or what do you call it? A grant program. A grant program. And they will grant you the money. They say, hey, listen, you want $10,000 down for that $300,000 house? Well, we'll give it to you. Cool. She's like, yay, this is awesome. All right, cool. Now let's lock the rate. Well, what do you mean I'm at 7.8625? 7.625. What if I'm at 7.625 right now? I don't want that rate. Yeah, that's the rate that comes with Platinum. Yeah, but could I get cheaper? Yeah, you could, but you have to put the down payment. Well, that sounds like a scam. They give me a higher rate. Not a scam, it's a program. And you're choosing the program. So, is it better? For some people it is. And Platinum's a weird situation where if you hold it for 3 years, they forgive it. But if you refinance in 1 year, you owe 66% of it back. Or if you refinance in 2, you owe 33%. Some weird number. It's a weird number. But Platinum's that kind of version. Well, HAFA is a silent second. They're like, hey, you don't have to make any payments at all. And you can have a decent rate. HAFA rates are pretty good. But you owe it back to me. When you refinance or when you sell it, you got to give it back. Our count's pretty good right there on this one. So you got to give it back when you pay HAFA back. So is it better to go with 0 down? Sometimes. I say if it's the difference between you owning a house and not owning a house, absolutely use the program. It's better. It's better if you use the program. However, if you've got the cash or any other way to not use the program, highly recommend you don't use the program if you don't need to most of the time. Occasionally, there's a reason. What do you got?
So if you're interested in getting yourself a home loan, screenshot this phone number right now. It is going to disappear. Screenshot this phone number. Text us right now, the platform that you're on, and that's it. And we'll get back to you and get you started in the process.
And interest rates today, 5.75. 5.75. What? 5.75? Who would actually put that in writing? 5.75. Who's going to put that in writing? Who is going to put it on the internet and put it in writing? New American Funding will. You know how? Go up to the link at the top and you'll see cool stuff. On cool stuff, today's rates. Click that and you'll see what I'm looking at right now, which is 5.75. Now, is that your quote? No. No. The only way we can get you your quote, pull your credit, calculate your income, check out your assets, and then give you your credit. That's how it goes. What do we got from here?
Hernan 76, Lake County, Illinois. All
Love
right.
Illinois, man.
Got some deals there? What's the prices like?
Yeah, love Illinois, love Illinois. Yes, we do business in Illinois. We do business in all 50 states. Here's a trick question. How many states are there in the United States? I'll give you a hint. We do business in all 50 states. Just in case you needed a hint, go ahead, discuss amongst yourself, and then tell me how many states. You won't be surprised how many times we get 52 and 48.
Violetta, I'm getting seller credits for flood insurance. If I don't want it escrowed, when do I see those credits?
You take that.
If I don't want it escrowed, when do I see those credits? Okay, so the credits are going to get applied to anything else. So if you're not going to apply it to flood insurance, it's going to go to whatever other closing costs that you have. You are not going to get that in cash. So if you're thinking it's going to come back to you, it will not. So my recommendation is if you're going to lose it, pay your flood insurance.
And actually, there's a line item inside of the documents that says paid out of escrow. Paid out of escrow, which means it's not going to be paid in the escrow process, because even though you don't want it going through escrow, still has to be documented. There can be no secrets in this. It's when people have a secret that loans fall apart or deals fall apart.
Or if you don't want to apply it to closing costs, you can ask your bank to apply it to principal balance, principal reduction.
That's the best, by the way. That's usually the best.
That
That's
brings your
usually,
loan amount down.
That's usually the best. What's the catch? There's always a catch. Kyle Laflame. Ooh, that sounds very French. Laflame. Hey. Why do people do that? I don't know. I do it. Anyway, what's the catch? What's the catch for what? For the down payment assistance programs? They all have some type of catch. There's no free in this world. If you're thinking you're getting free, you need to dig deeper. There is no free in this world. There's always a catch. If you go with platinum, it's a forgiven catch, but you have to have a higher interest rate. If you go with HAFA, well, it's a good rate, but it's a silent second. You have to pay it back at some point. If you go with Dream for All, they want it all back with appreciation. They want it all back with appreciation. It's a little crazy. Sounds amazing. The way they market it, oh my God. I'm watching the marketing on this thing. They say, California says, hey, we'll get you 20% for your house. And everybody's like, yay, state of California is going to give me 20% for my down payment. They're going to give it to me. They're not going to give it to you. They're not. If you read into the guidelines, if you buy a $500,000 house, state of California is going to step in with $100,000 with you. $100,000. And then you're in business together. You're in business together because they want that $100,000 back. And they want it back with appreciation. Not just interest, appreciation. So it's a catch. What's the catch? That's a catch. What do you got?
Left lane trucking. Can I get a $380,000 house with $65,000 before tax, no debt, great credit score? Single. All right, ladies, left lane trucking is single.
Maybe, and make some bank. Maybe. It depends on what city and state you're in, and the biggest fact, because you're right on that line with the interest rates that they are today. If interest rates are at 4 or 5, I would say slam dunk. But right now they're in the 6s and 7s. Yeah, you're right on the line with that. Right on the line. It's going to depend on tax base. If there's an HOA, that's going to be a problem. If it's a new build, it's going to be a problem. There's a few things that will cause a problem. If you're in like Florida or California where insurance got ridiculously expensive for the moment, it's going to go away, but it's expensive right now. So those are the catches.
So you single ladies, left lane trucking's about to be a homeowner.
Oh, dude.
I want to get in there.
Trying to get him hooked up. What's
Heck yeah.
up?
Sonny, 15 properties in Cincinnati. All right. Congrats, Sonny.
What is 51? 51.
It's his age, I think.
50,
You just say he's single and 51.
Single? All right. He's like, hey.
Well, this is for loans and dating, so it's all good.
No, it's not.
It's all good.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
This is not a dating site.
If
it's
they
not
hook up in the chat. They hook up in the chat.
It's not a dating site.
I have no
I don't
control
think. No,
over
this is weird, dude. We're talking about loans.
I'm talking about love.
Dude.
Real love.
Dude, real love on the chat. Where'd you find love? I found love on the chat.
Chris and Lee chat. Connie Jacobs Reyes. How you doing, Connie?
What's up, Connie?
With the monthly payment, how much house can I afford in San Antonio? 1031.
I don't know what that means.
With 1031.
No. Connie, that's different. Sonny and Connie. There's two different people.
Oh yeah, with a monthly payment. Okay.
What's the money? I don't know.
House can I
We're
afford?
missing something from Connie Jacobs Reyes. With a monthly payment, how much can I afford in San Antonio, Texas? If you've got a monthly payment, you can afford whatever your DTI allows.
$2,300. There you go.
$2,300.
How much can she afford?
$2,300 a month. $2,300 a month. You're looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of 260, 280, maybe as high as 300,000. Somewhere in that range. Yeah, somewhere in that range. There's a lot of factors, Connie. A lot of factors. So 1031 it. 1031 it. Sonny says 1031. So 1031, 1035, 1036. What? Those are all fancy terms.
What the fizz?
Yeah, what the
At
fizz?
what point can you opt out of PMI? Do some programs require it?
What the fizz? So if you put 20% down, you can say, hey, I don't want that PMI. If you do an 80-10-10, that means that you borrow 80% on Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, 10% from somebody else, and you put 10% down in cash. You can not worry about PMI. But PMI is designed to protect the lender. In the event that you default, the more skin you have in the game, the less the lender needs protecting. They've decided that 20% across the board is a good amount. So when you want to opt out, you just put more money down or become a veteran. If you are a veteran, the VA will step in and essentially pay the MI for you, but there is no MI, but they cover the loan up to 25% of default. So that's about it.
All right. Miss Kashia, explain what you do.
I get you a house, Miss Kashia. You're looking for a house? I loan you. No. I am the loan officer that opens the door to the bank that lends you the money. Is that a good explanation?
Yeah, that's good.
That's pretty good, yeah. And then we line you up with the realtor, and then with the realtor, We get you the home of your dreams or your first home, either one.
When did Israel start doing insurance? LOL. Much love, bro. Just kidding. APC said. All right. Much love to you too, APC.
I don't know what APC. I don't know what
Neither.
Israel do. Okay, cool.
You're welcome, Violetta. Joe Smith, 2166. Why does Grant Cardone say don't buy a house but rent?
Well, Joe Smith, if you're
'Cause he wants you
following,
to rent from him.
yeah, if you're following Grant Cardone, it's a very interesting situation that's going on with Grant Cardone right now. Now, I follow a lot of guys. I've been following Tony Robbins.
Creepy.
I've seen all of the
Straight creepy.
What?
You're gonna go to jail if you keep doing that, man.
Tony Robbins,
Following
Grant
people around
Cardone,
like
Carlton
that?
Sheets, Tom Vu.
Dude.
I'm going all the way back to the real estate
prison.
gurus of way back when. Anyway, Grant Cardone, his philosophy is you need to have opportunity capital. That's what he called it, basically opportunity capital. By the way, he's a Scientologist and he puts a lot of money in Scientology. So that's a side note. So he believes you should invest your money with him. And if you invest your money with him, you can buy apartment complexes and all kinds of stuff that you would never be able to do in a million years. Now, is this entirely wrong? Not entirely wrong. Is it appropriate? If you talk to Grant Cardone, he says you're stupid if you don't. Yeah, he says you're stupid. Yeah.
What a meanie.
So, yeah, there's some guys out there that if you follow their path, I would say back up and look at the whole picture, not just and ask why are they saying this? Because usually if you follow the money, it means somebody's going to get the money in their pocket. And Grant Cardone's kind of taking a lot of heat right now. Now, I followed him a little bit when he built that 10X thing, and there was a whole bunch of people that joined on with him. And I looked at that thing and they said, hey, you should never buy single family properties. You should always buy 100 doors or 200 doors or
At a time.
at a time. And I saw it and I said, okay, is this sound? And I'm like, I see how you can say that. But there's an old saying that says, first ensure security, then practice virtue. Which means before you start telling everybody how great things are, make sure you can pay your bills. Make sure you can cover your family. And if you're coming from the perspective of, I can't do that yet and I need to buy my first house, I do not agree with Grant Cardone. I think you should buy your first house, buy it. Now you have some type of investment property because you're going to have to pay whether you rent or whether you buy. Now there's another guy that says that too. Help me, what's his name? Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey comes up and he says, hey, you shouldn't buy your house. Why? Because it ties you down. So let's just say you live in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and you bought a house. And then you have an opportunity to go take a job in Seattle. Well, you can't because you have a house. That's called opportunity loss. If you're renting, you just say, sayonara, Mr. Rent, and I move on. So there's a thought process to that, and it's not entirely wrong, but it's easier to say when you don't have when you have stability underneath you. Like back when I grew up, food allergies didn't exist because we had to eat, and we didn't have the poshness of being able to go,
These bananas
hey,
make
listen,
me sneeze.
these bananas make my throat itch. I'm like, well, don't eat them, eat something else. But now they like literally go, hey, nobody that's ever touched a peanut in the last 12 months can go to this school. They literally have that version of that, which is crazy. So this takes me back to first ensure security, then practice virtue. So if you're Grant Cardone and you got hundreds of $1 million and you're scamming people, charging people a lot of money to go to the weekend seminar, $50,000 for a weekend seminar. What? Don't worry, they'll take your credit card. Don't worry about it.
What's going on that weekend?
$50,000, and you got a lot of money, and you can say, "Hey, I only buy 1,000 doors at a time." Well, yeah, that's okay because you've already got your stability and the base formed. But if you haven't gotten that formed, you kind of need that first residence, so you can have some kind of stability and some type of forced appreciation and forced savings. Because the truth is, most Americans don't really save. There's a percentage that do, but most don't. They do make their mortgage payment, and then the appreciation in the house goes up and they develop a net worth. This is why people's net worth largely comes from their home. Anyway, off the soapbox, we got a lot of things. Cool.
Joe Smith, those are all opinions.
Yeah,
And
they're just my opinion.
choose to follow them or not. No, they're
Yeah.
talking about Grant Cardone and all the Dave Ramsey's. They're
yeah.
all opinions.
Yeah.
So figure out what's good for
And
you.
mine's an opinion too. I will back mine all day long, and I'd stand against Grant Cardone, and I would tell him, hey, listen, dude, when you're that rich, you can do that. And his answer would be, well, you're stupid if you don't go with me. You should invest with me. You're stupid if you buy a new house. He's pretty hardcore, man. And there's a part of me that really appreciates the salesman that he is, because he's a hardcore closer. But there's another part that really doesn't like that he's deceiving a lot of people. Anyway, moving on.
Stephanie Don Juan, how often do homeowners not want to cover closing costs or do repairs on a home, not budgeting on price?
That happens all the time. I don't want to pay closing costs. Stephanie, if you were selling your house and somebody said, hey, listen, I want to buy your house, but I want you to pay $10,000 in closing costs, what's your answer? Nah, I don't want to do that. So I would say all the time. Now here's the better question. Is the market force it? Because right now we're in a buyer's market. And because there's not a lot of buyers coming in, if that seller says, nah, I'm not going to do it, then you say, thank you very much, move on. And he's like, well, wait a minute, that means you're not going to buy it? Before you leave, I might be open to cover some closing costs. So that's market. The market dictates this. But how much often do they want to? None of them want to. I don't want to. You don't want to. Do you want to?
No.
Nobody wants to cover that, but the market will dictate whether or not it does happen.
Also, do you have a strong real estate agent? Because your real estate agent should have already answered these questions for you. These aren't lender questions.
Yeah.
These are realtor questions. We just happen to be so good at our job that we
Thank you for all the hearts, by the way. I see the hearts coming in. I see the balloons. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys. For realtors, I'm a big advocate of realtors. If you have a good realtor is so important. It's so important.
So back to what I was saying you should go back to your agent and make sure they're answering these questions. And if you don't have a strong agent in your area, reach out to us. We'll hook you up with someone. Can I use Bitcoin to buy a house?
Not really. No, not in America. In some countries you can, but so let me preface that. Some services will change Bitcoin into dollars for you prior to it hitting escrow. So insofar as that goes, you can use Bitcoin, change it into dollars, source it, and then send it to escrow. But will escrow take Bitcoin for payment? I have not seen it yet, not once.
Gorilla 636. How does being an authorized user on credit cards affect one's ability to get approved for a loan?
You do that.
Okay, so if you are the authorized user and it is not your debt and the other person is making the payment, we may be able to not count it against you. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. But for the most part, whatever that monthly payment is, could be yours. So
I actually have one in escrow right now that we were doing the cursory back thing, and it said, hey, listen, there's a $2,400 debt that we didn't find. We didn't see it the first time we pulled credit. And I said, hey, Mr. Borrower, what is this $2,400 debt? And they said, oh, that's my sister's credit card. I'm just an authorized user. And that happened years ago. And I said, okay, cool. Have you ever made a payment on this? No. My sister pays it all the time. And because she pays it all the time, I'm able to go, hey, listen, get me the 12 months showing that your sister's made those payments and that you're an authorized user, and I can ignore it. It actually hiccuped my escrow. I found out the issue, called the borrower, because that's what we do all the time. Right away, call the borrower. Once I called the borrower, he told me the situation. We got the 12 months, cleared it, no problems. But it does happen. It can affect you, but it can clear it up. $120,000 a year, dude, $120,000 a year, you're starting at $500, $520, $530, somewhere in that range, depending on property tax base and HOA. So it depends on what state you're buying in and if you're buying a new build. If you're buying a new builds play dirty birdie games, man. They play dirty birdie games. That will reduce your buying power by a lot.
Michael Spath, best way to do a mixed unit commercial bottom 4 resident unit rents on second floor.
Whoa, that hurt my brain.
Best way to do a mixed unit commercial bottom 4 residential unit rents on the second floor.
Easy. Get it deemed as a residential property. There is a mixed use provision in the guidelines.
You can probably do it residential if you get a rebuild letter. Because this sounds like a commercial property.
Yeah, we did one about a year ago.
It sounds like a commercial property, and what that means is if the house burns down, you can rebuild it residential the way it is and not have to go full commercial.
Yeah, because so what happens is somebody, before there was a city involved, they built a shop on the bottom and a house on the top. And they're like, hey, I live in the house on the top and it's a shop on the bottom. When the city took them in and they annexed in that area, they said, all right, you're not quite commercial, but you're also not residential. So you're zoned mixed use and you're grandfathered in. So somebody right next door says, hey, I want to do the same thing. They said, you cannot. You cannot. Why can you not? Because you're part of the city now. And they're like, but he did it. And they're like, no, he did it before we were a city and we grandfathered him. So now the bank that's dude, I almost choked.
I know, I can tell.
That's about to lend you the money says, all right, cool, but what if this thing burns down? And we've insured something that is a commercial because some of the income comes from it, and a residential, mixed use. We've insured that. Then the guidelines, they have to come up with a way to deal with this. So you have to go to the city and say, hey, Mr. City, can I get a rebuild letter that states I can rebuild this exactly the way it is? And the city gives you a rebuild letter. Once you get the rebuild letter, the bank says, hey, listen, the insurance company will now insure it as is, and we can rebuild it the way it was, so now we can move forward. But usually, mixed use is a problem. The rebuild letter solves it. We closed one about a year ago, and it was a weird situation. We found all that out the hard way.
So you got a little bit of Michelle. You have a little bit of an uphill battle. I don't think it's going to be easy, but we're up for the challenge. Roger, why does MIP take so long to go away? It doesn't. It actually doesn't.
Yeah, you can make it go away today.
Yep.
Like right now. Yep, easy. Cakewalk. Just say, hey, MIP, I want you to go away. MIP says, I don't want to go away. Well, I'm going to write a check for 20% down. Bye! MIP's gone. So
if you don't want to pay for it, then you have to wait until the loan gets paid down far enough.
So, Roger, MIP is mortgage insurance premium or premium? Premium. Mortgage insurance premium, and it's designed to protect the lender, which means you don't have enough skin in the game where the lender's comfortable to go, you're not going to walk. So, if you put 20% or more, no MIP. But if you want to get in for 3.5% down, you're taking a little bit of risk, but the lender's taking a lot of risk. So, in order to mitigate that risk, they give you, like FHA is mandatory 0.55 with 3.5% down, or 0.5 with 5% down or more. So they mandate that. If you put more than 10%, FHA says, hey, I'll make this disappear in about 11 years, or exactly 11 years from your first payment. So with conventional, it's the same thing. They're like, hey, listen, when you get below 20%, we'll make it disappear. Now, you can challenge it. That's the difference on Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. 8 years in, your house has appreciated a whole bunch. You can request the bank remove it, and then they have to do their own internal situation and then decide whether or not it's going to be removed. So that's why it takes so long. It's protecting the lender.
You're welcome, Michelle.
Yep, we're here for you, Michelle.
JS37. Does the United States not offer allodial titles to your property? Allodial?
Jay, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Allodial?
I've been in, I don't know, allodial titles, allodial.
Who knows, Jay? Gotta Google it.
I don't even know, man. I don't even know. Jay, there's a lot of things I've seen. I've never seen an allodial title to the property.
LGJ,
cool.
Should I pay off my credit cards
LGJ. Do you have to say it with an accent?
I don't have an accent.
LGJ.
Just a $400 balance and my credit line of $500. Should I pay off?
What do you think?
I think you should never pay any debt off. I think you should never try to attack your collections. I think you should never try to adjust your credit on your own. I think what you need to do is call one of these numbers, let us pull your credit, let us analyze it, and then guide you down the path of what you should be doing. That's what I would do, LGJ.
LGJ. I like that. Okay, right. Cool.
Mike YP, can I buy another home with a VA loan?
Yes. All day, every day.
What the hell?
I don't know. I D&D'd it. I D&D'd it. I swear, that should not be coming in. So, can I buy another home with a VA loan? Mike, YP, real simple, yes. But there are some caveats. You have to have paid off your other loan or have an extenuating circumstance. What's an extenuating circumstance? You're stationed in Virginia. You buy a house for, let's say, $200,000 in Virginia. And they say, okay, thank you for your tour of 2 years. Now we're sending you to San Diego. Now you rent that house to somebody and you prove it, and they say, hey, listen, I can more than cover my mortgage payment. I would like to buy a house in San Diego where I'm stationed. In that situation, we might be able to do it. But the one situation where we cannot is you say, hey, this used to be my primary. Now I'm going to go move down the block and I want another primary. Not going to happen. VA is not to help you build your real estate portfolio. It's to make sure that you've got a house to live in. So, very complicated caveat. If you're not in the service and your job reassigns you, that could happen. That happens sometimes. But there's a very unique situation where that happens. So, yes, it can happen, but we have to do it correctly.
Mike YP, thank you for your service.
Appreciate your service, man. Thank you very much.
For the rest of you, if you are interested in getting a home loan, make sure you take these numbers down, call us or text us, the platform that you're on. If you don't want to talk to us, go to the link in the bio. It's stand.store. Click that link and click apply now. You don't even need to talk to us.
And if you're watching us on Instagram, I want to know how you're doing it because Instagram won't let us go live anymore. So we're trying to get it fixed. Hopefully we'll have it fixed tomorrow. But Instagram won't let us go live anymore. So hopefully you jumped over to Facebook, TikTok, or YouTube. It happens on the platforms from time to time. We've had them all. Like, bad boy, bad boy. Anyway, moving on.
George Montenegro, have a question. I am self-employed. Can I get a house?
Yep. George,
Aaron
yep.
Gomez.
Absolutely, George. Let's do it.
No, dude, that was the best. Just stop.
All right. Yep.
Aaron Gomez, can you help us get a loan in any state?
Any state in the union except the state of confusion. And actually, most of my clients land up in the state of confusion when they get the LE and the CD, and I help them out of the state of confusion to the state of home ownership. Yes, all 50 states. Let's do it.
Where you at, Aaron Gomez? Tell us the city. All of you. Tell us the city and state where
Where
you're
are
at.
you guys
I wanna
at?
know.
Yeah, if you're on Instagram, tell me how you're watching it. I can't see because we're not allowed on Instagram right now.
Mikey 2012.
Mikey
Can I get an FHA loan with 8K and a 630 credit?
You take it.
Yes, you can get an FHA loan with 8K and 630 credit. Your down payment's only 3.5%. 8K will probably get you a little over 200,000. 630 credit all day long. You just gotta call one of these
All
numbers,
day,
man.
every day.
Caleb Williams, me and my wife make 110,000 a year, 28% debt to income ratio? Question mark.
I don't know what that means, but yeah, good for you and your wife, man. You and your wife are looking. If you're looking at what you want, what you can buy, probably creeping up on $500,000. Creeping up on $500,000 here for you. We're here for you, man.
Y'all do work in California?
We do. Not only do we work in California, he lives in California, and I am in California. I live here too. I got a house here. Got a house in Texas.
New builds, I have 20%. Do I do FHA 4.99 or 5.375 conventional?
Give me a second.
Gavin Pantrio.
So Gavin, those are two really, really good, like almost unbelievable rates. And here's why. Because it appears that you are getting sold what's called a 3-2-1 buy down. Because prevailing rates right now on conventional with no buy down, you're probably in the 7s. With a buy down, let's call it 7. So 7, or call it 6.99, better, 6.99. And then if you're quoting a 4.99, that's below prevailing rates. Because right now, prevailing rates are in the, best case scenario with the buy downs in the 5s. You're quoting a 4.99. So you might be being sold a 3-2-1 buy down. Now, the way that works is they say, hey, listen, we're going to qualify you at 6.99. But for the first year, you're only paying 4.99. And then for the second year, you're paying 5.99. And then for the third year, you're paying 6.99. So if you get into that contract, it looks good, and you can say I got 4.99, which is kind of true. But here's one thing absolutely for certain. Your interest rate's going to go up over the next 3 years. Here's another thing that we believe. Interest rates are going to go down.
He thinks you're talking about an arm. It's not an arm.
No, it's not an arm. This is a 3-2-1 buy down with a fix. That's a fixed. Now, if you're able to get 4.99 with like no cost, that's unbelievable. That's if you sent me a locked LE that said 4.99, I looked at the cost section and I looked at all the places where lenders hide their credits, and I saw I would say, hey, listen, I can't touch this, man. This is a badass loan. I don't know how they're doing it. Badass loan. I go all day long. I can't take your loan. I
builder
cannot.
Incentives. It's builders kicking in all the cash.
Yeah, and usually even with that's a buy down. That's a heavy buy down.
Oh, it's a heavy one, yeah. But
this
is how they're paying a little money to make greater money.
Yeah. So Gavin, here's another thing you should be looking at. One of them is called special assessments, and new builds do this. They say, hey, listen, instead of paying for the park out of my pocket and paying for the sidewalks and the streets, here's what I'm going to do in this new complex that has no voters yet. I'm going to put to a vote that we should all build it into a bond, and then we'll put it on property taxes. And then everybody who's a resident there, which is only the new builder, shows up to the meeting and they say, we vote that this should be a bond. And everybody that's a resident votes, I agree it should be a bond. Now all of a sudden you got a $20 million bond that's built into your property taxes that should have been paid for by the builder. Now it looks like you have a lower price house, but the way they did is they hide it really sophisticated into your monthly payment through the property tax base. It's real complicated, but it manifests in property tax base is extremely high, even in California. I think you're in California. What's the highest property tax base you've seen in California?
Mine, 2.8.
I think, yeah, 2.8. That's about the most I've seen is Beaumont, right? Beaumont.
I don't live in Beaumont.
No, okay.
I said
so,
mine.
Oh, yours is 2.8.
Yeah.
Okay, so yours is high, 2.8. So 2.8 is a ridiculously high tax base. Ridiculously high. And the regular tax base in California, we put in at 1.2, 1.25, because that kind of covers most areas in California. 2.8, now I'll give you, like in a $500,000 house, 1.2 is probably about 300 grand. 2.8 is probably $900 to $1,000 a month. So that's a $300 payment to a $1,000 a month payment like that, and it makes it look like the house is cheaper, but the truth is you're paying for it through the tax base.
So Gavin, I'm going to answer your question now.
Okay.
After that 20-minute dissertation, I would take the conventional. I'll take the conventional because your 4.99 is going to have a 0.5 interest rate, mortgage insurance on it, so it's going to take you above total payment. So conventional is going to be your better route if those numbers are accurate.
Yeah.
Left lane trucking. How much fees do I have to pay if I pay the FHA loan early? Is it a lot? 10 to 15 years? None.
Yeah, there's no extra fees. It's actually against the law through Dodd-Frank if you went through FHA for them to have a prepayment penalty. So you've got the ability to pay it off. Yeah. Like you could, 3 months in, you hit the lottery, you want to write the check, you can write the check. They don't charge you anything else.
All right. DFPHD is in South Carolina.
South Carolina. Love South Carolina.
Michelle's in Illinois.
Illinois. We appreciate you, Illinois.
The Matching Maffets. Decatur, Georgia.
Decatur.
Ray's in Georgia, too.
George, dude. We got Georgia.
Decatur.
We love you guys in Georgia. We love Georgia.
Do you do loans in Georgia?
We do loans in Georgia. We can help you in Georgia.
Mikey 2012. Can you get a multifamily duplex that already has tenants with an FHA?
Maybe. Tenants, because if it's a duplex, that means there's two. And if there's tenants, that could be tenants in one of the units. One of the guidelines on FHA is you have to live in the primary unit. So if you're saying tenants is in one of the units and you're going to live in the second unit all day long, yes, it's actually a very smart move because you're able to get into a rental situation where you can actually get rent for 3.5% down, which is really difficult to do. But in your scenario, can be done.
Yeah. Love. The person's name is Love. Is the lowest of 655 okay? Is a lowest of 655 okay with no debt and 110 a year? Yeah, Love. Remember I said this is all love?
All love. You're looking at 500 grand. I mean, you're 480, 490, 500, depending on where you live, tax base, and insurance.
All right. Left lane trucking. How much are the penalties for paying? Oh, we already
did that. We did that. Yeah, we did that. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Illinois is terrible too.
Illinois is terrible.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. You got it. Mike, 2012. Yes, I would love to live in one of them. Awesome.
Yes, let's make it happen. It sounds like you're in a perfect situation, Mike, 2012. So why did you come up with 2012? Because you started your account in 2012, maybe?
Maybe that was the best year of his life.
I don't think TikTok was around.
Could be the best year of his life.
Could be when he was born.
No.
Well, if he was,
he's 12. He's like, hey man, how much down payment?
Yeah, down payment.
So I put 20% or what?
Yeah. What are we gonna do? You gonna invest or what?
Right, I want to talk about some of the pitfalls of real estate.
Tell me.
Like a lot of things that like the challenges that people have and they think they can't buy. Like for instance, you had a BK 4 years ago.
You could buy.
Okay, but people don't know that.
Okay, but you could buy. I'm telling you right now.
Like, what's another pitfall? Like I have a 650 credit score.
You could buy.
Okay. Like I had a foreclosure 6 years ago.
You could buy.
Like I did a short sale 3 years ago.
You could buy.
Like I did a bankruptcy 2 years ago.
You could buy. I had to think about that one.
Yeah, see?
I was like guidelines.
Give me some more,
FHA.
man. Give me some more.
Guideline 4-year conventional FHA.
I'm self-employed.
You could buy all day long.
I don't get regular paycheck stubs.
You could buy.
I don't get W-2s.
You could buy.
Okay.
It took me a second. Yeah.
I have a cash business.
You could buy.
How
about I'm unemployed? I'm on unemployment.
All right. You're on unemployment.
You could buy. Heck yeah.
Well,
yeah. If you're an actor and you made $30,000 for 3 months and then you went on unemployment because it's part of the union contract, and then you got another job and you make $30,000 again, and I can prove that's the way of making a living, you could buy.
What if I had a late on a credit card like in the last couple of years?
Dude, right now, you should be in a house yesterday.
What if I have student loans?
You should be in a house yesterday.
What if I have what if I'm with my significant other but we're not married?
You're living in sin, bro.
Yeah.
You are living in sin. Yeah. Someone's not going to the good place. Yeah. Someone's not going.
But can you buy?
Yeah, you can buy.
Do you have to be married?
Dude, I don't know.
I do. So no, you don't have to be married.
Okay.
You can buy a house together.
Somebody's hardened us up
if
at
you're
this.
not married.
They're like, no, please tell us we don't have to be married. Yes, the whole world's not married anymore. I don't know if you follow the stats, but the stats say that marriage is not a really popular thing anymore. They stopped selling that Disney dream. The new Disney dream is that you can, I don't know, transition or whatever the new Disney dream is. But they kind of got rid of that Disney dream. It doesn't matter. For loan purposes, I don't give a shit. If you're married, you can be married. You can be single. We can make it work.
But it doesn't. I don't care what you think. Is it possible?
Dude, I care what I think. I'm important.
But you're the only one.
Dude, I build me.
I got 4 million fans right here.
Dude,
that are
I
like,
build me. I care what I think. Anyway.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Next. Give me some more pitfalls, man.
You're ugly.
That's not going to
You
stop
could
me
buy.
from getting a loan.
You can get by. You could buy. Dude, you could buy. You got a loan. I know you did. Yeah,
Not
you
gonna
could
stop
buy.
me from getting a
You
loan.
could buy. So, interest rates are at 5.75 on a 15-year fixed. 5.75. 5.75. That's pretty good. 5.75. Now, is that your quote? No, not in a million years. Your quote, the only way I can get your quote is to pull your credit, calculate your income, check your assets, and then find out how much your interest rate is going to be. That's how we do it.
So if you want to get qualified, this phone number here, you can text it. This phone number is here. You can text those. Or you can go to the link in the top in our bio. It says stand.store and click apply now. You don't even have to talk to us. It'll go straight into our systems. Myself or Lee or one of our fabulous team members. What are our team members' names, Lee?
Let's go with our team members. I'm gonna mention a few of them. If I miss any, you catch me, okay?
All right, go.
Ryan.
Okay.
Aurora.
Okay.
Gordon.
Okay.
Jerry.
Okay.
Sean.
Okay.
Martha.
Okay.
Chris and Lee.
Boom. You did it.
8. Yeah, we have 8 loan officers that work with us.
Did
Yeah,
it.
we're gonna help you guys. We get applications every single day, like literally every single day, and we actually employed all of these people. All of their help, we enlisted their help. They're already employed. But we enlisted their help, and we said, hey, listen, we get these awesome people that want to buy all across America, and we can't keep up with all of them. Can you help us? Now, sometimes somebody calls me and say, hey, can we talk to you? I'm like, you can talk to Chris or I anytime you want.
Yep.
But these guys are highly qualified, and we talk with them every morning in order to make this thing work. So we are here for you no matter where you're at, all 50 states. How many states?
50.
How many?
50.
Dude, 50 states.
49 plus 1.
Cool. What do we got? So what do you think?
25 times
When do
2.
you think the rates are going to go down? You've been watching this stuff. When do you think they're going down?
So I'm going to tell you what the experts are saying because it's not what I think. It's the data that they're putting out.
Okay, cool.
And the data that they put out in 2022 was that it was supposed to be down in 2023.
Yeah.
And then they said 2024.
Didn't
So
work.
that's never coming. But if you go to the base of it and listen to the people that actually follow the economics, follow the bonds, follow all the little moving pieces that equate to the interest rates, and it is fourth quarter this year.
Fourth quarter? You're thinking fourth quarter?
Fourth quarter this year.
Dude, fourth quarter. I'm saying third quarter still. I still believe third quarter. I think it's going to start happening third quarter. I think fourth quarter is going to be good. I really think 25. Dude, we're going to make a lot of money.
25 is going to be a different
The
monster.
realtors are going to make a lot of money. There's going to be people coming in out of the woodworks to become lenders. They're like, hey, quick, teach me to be a lender. I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. Teach me quick. Yeah, it's not that easy.
If you're interested in buying a house and you're thinking, hey, the end of this year I should be ready.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that. Get pre-qualified now.
Yes.
Now. Because what's going to happen what's going to happen is October is going to roll around, and if he's right, third quarter's rates start dropping. It's going to infuse millions of people to buy a house, and you're going to be competing with all these people. So if you don't want to compete with them, and if he's right, you want to get in probably by the middle of summer. Because the middle of summer to the end of summer is when the boom's going to kick off, if he's right. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
If you want to buy a house, what should they do, Lee?
For a first-time home buyer, call Chris and Lee Go to realestatewrap.com.
Nobody did that yesterday.
I know, nobody did it.
Let's see if someone goes today.
We're losing our little...
There's a website called
I wonder if it's still up.
realestatewrap.com.
I wonder if it's still up.
The 4 million of you that are watching us right now.
4 million.
Go to one of you. Go to realestatewrap.com. Watch the video. Lee and I did a rap song years back, and give me one verse, just one verse from that song.
Yeah.
And the rest of you, tell me where you're at. City and state. Where do you guys live in?
City and state. What do you want to know about buying a home? Do you want to know that if you are currently in bankruptcy, can you buy a house? Can you?
If you're currently in bankruptcy?
Yeah.
If it's a Chapter 13 and you've made payments for the last 12 months? Yes.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Wait a minute. What? You can be in bankruptcy and buy a house? Mm-hmm. What?
Chapter 7?
What if you had a Chapter 7 discharge 2 years ago?
As long as the discharge date is behind us, meaning yesterday, we can move forward. 2 years yesterday, we can move forward.
No kidding.
100%.
Wow.
100%.
No kidding.
And you could even get zero down if your credit's good
enough.
What?
How do you get zero down?
Well, there's a couple different fancy ways. The first one is you have to have a job for at least 2 years. Okay. And if you haven't had a job for the last 2 years, but you went to college, got a degree, and they got placed in your job and you're brand new, we can use that. So you can buy today. That's the first step. Second one is I need a 600 or better credit score. Okay. There's a program that starts at 600, another one at 620, another one's at 640, and most of them at 660.
Mommy. Oh, hey guys, what's the current interest rate today?
Hold on.
5.75. If you go to New American Funding's website, you can see it links at the top of our profile. Then go to Cool Stuff, you'll see the links. 5.75 on a 15-year conventional.
Miami of zero. What city and state are you in?
She's in Miami.
Is she?
I think she's in Miami. She's been in our feed a few times. I think she's been in a few times. You know what's fun is at the end of 30 year. Yeah, no, 15 year. That's a 15 year. The 30-year conventional right now, perfect rate is 6.25. Florida. We love Florida.
What city?
I lived in Miami. I lived in South Beach 20 years ago.
I heard of Jacksonville.
You've heard of Jacksonville? Mm-hmm. All right, that's good. Yeah, we all went to college. No, we didn't. I didn't even go to high school.
What about the Florida-Georgia line?
Dude, St. Cloud. St. Cloud. I don't even know where that is.
Ah, it's in Florida.
It's in Florida. Yeah, it's in Florida. Florida's this weird, amazing, hot, humid state.
It's got alligators.
It's pretty badass.
They got hurricanes.
If you get past the humidity, you get used to it. It's amazing.
A lot of Cubans.
I loved Florida. Yeah,
Cuban sandwiches. You like Cuban sandwiches?
Oh, I love Cuban sandwiches. Cuban food in Miami is amazing. Amazing. Do you see that? There's 3 syllables.
Amazing.
See, I'm pretty smart. I'm pretty smart. So, what do we got? We got more questions?
So, down payment assistance, guys. let me share with you just a little bit of the facts about down payment assistance. So, down payment assistance is not a give me. It's not, hey guys, I'm going to give you money for the down payment. You're either going to borrow it and pay it back later through the sale of your property or through the refinance of your property. Or if you have cash money, you can just pay it. Or it's going to be forgiven as long as you live in the property and make your payments on time for, I think, one is 6 months and one is 3 years. So there's a bunch of different programs, guys. There's programs all over the country. There's city programs, county programs, state programs, national programs, bank programs, so many programs.
And we actually do a series. We do a series on our TikToks. If you watch, we ask, hey, what's the down payment in Illinois? What's the down payment in whatever? Illinois. What's the down payment in Texas? What's the down payment in Florida? And we actually Google them, and we make sure that New American Funding is actually allowed to do business in those. What something just came up there?
It says tell everyone to like.
Okay, cool. We got to keep liking that up because the algorithm's telling us to like.
Like it.
So appreciate the hearts. Thank you very much, guys. We appreciate you very much. But we actually did a series. We're still doing it. We're doing all 50 states. And if there's a program, and as I dig in and I find them, there's some strange programs out there. There's programs that will that release 10% every year on the anniversary, and you get that down payment assistance program, and then 1 year in, they're like, hey, we forgive 10% of it. Next year in, 10%. They keep forgiving 10% until the 10th year. It's all gone. So there are programs like that. There are programs where they forgive it after 3 years. There are programs where they forgive it.
Celso in the house.
Celso, what's up, Celso? I don't see Celso.
He's on the right top corner.
Okay, cool. What's up, Celso? So there's programs. There's down payment assistance programs. But the catch to all of them is that there's a catch. There's always a catch. It's never just straight free. there's always a catch. And if you can get away with it, I usually recommend you do not use a down payment assistance program. That being said, if it means the difference between you getting a house and not getting a house, let's do it. Absolutely. Let's do it. And we'll deal with the rest of it later. And there's ways out of it. And there's ways to do things so that it best suits you, the buyer.
So,
Cool.
And here's the other thing. There's so many programs. It's like different vehicles, okay? It's like a Buick versus a Ford, or a Ford versus a Chevy, or a Chevy versus a Honda. They all do the same thing. So don't try to get involved into a lot of them, because there's different guidelines for all of them. But at the end of the day, they all accomplish the same thing. So follow your loan officer's advice, because they're the expert. They know exactly what programs are good for you and what are not. And that's going to be Lee that helps you with this. So give him a call.
And I think we're getting to the end of it now. I think we appreciate you guys
Chris,
for
that's
showing
Lee.
up. We've been Chris and Lee. Have a good one.